good. I don't know how they're gonna be able to do it, reduce it or whatever services. I mean, the train is the train. Anyway, John, you had a comment?
Yeah. Wayne, Dr. Parks Director, and myself are supposed to be meeting with Amtrak in the next couple of months to talk about the scope of work on the ADA improvements at the depot. We don't know what they're going to do yet, but we're going to meet down there and kind of discuss what that scope of work is. I do not have a schedule yet for construction. Thinking about it, probably wouldn't, it's not going to be quick. It'll be a year or two out yet. But it should tie in pretty well with our Front Street ADA improvements that are slated for 2025. So, anyways, pretty big improvements around the depot coming up.
Very good. Thanks, John.
Yes, sir.
Any other comments regarding Amtrak? Andy? Anybody?
No. It's good to see them running again.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
Yes.
a lot of people getting on and off.
Yes.
Are they still going to get new cars?
That's what I heard last time, and they were talking about November, seeing some of those arrived. I did not confirm that.
Okay.
I'll try to check up on that for next time.
That for a long time.
Yeah, they're supposed to get refurbished cars, new to us cars, but yeah, they should be great. But yeah, those were supposed to, I think, see on our route in November. That was my notes as well, but I did not ask them when I was on the phone.
Thanks.
Very good. Moving on, Highway 47, Missouri River Bridge.
Yeah, nothing new.
Nothing new.
I know 2 months ago, we said everything, as far as we knew, was working right, so I haven't heard otherwise.
Lights on the bridge.
But I did see an email this week from Bob Zick, who sent something to Tim, that there is still some problems with the lighting.
There are.
I haven't heard that.
All right, well, we saw an email. So anyway,
Yeah,
and Tim
it was late last
responded.
week.
It was late last week, and Tim responded. John, you were on that email, weren't you?
I didn't see that email.
All right.
I didn't either. I didn't get that email.
Maybe you can forward it to me and I can get with Tim. I mean, we
Well, Tim responded,
every other week, so.
because I think Bob was getting a little frustrated after all this time. We still don't have our lights, working.
Yeah, they weren't working on the other side of the river.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
I do know, like, their subcontractor, the electrical contractor, and I believe the supplier, they did meet. I think they did get that barge floated, but that was, I think that was like 3 or 4 months ago.
okay, so this was Thursday. And,
I did not see that.
okay, so Bob wrote Tim and said, by any chance, do you see any resolution of the lighting problems with the bridge? It is really embarrassing to have folks approach me about this. I'm sure you feel the same way. And Tim said, at this time, we are waiting on our lighting consultant and supplier wait a minute. Anyway, Tim responded here. I don't think this was an old email, October 21.
No, this is last week.
Right. So was that Tim's response, that we're still,
I think so.
so at this time, we are waiting?
That was what I saw.
Yeah, on Friday. At this time, we are waiting on our lighting consultant and supplier to firm up the date with our new light fixture deliveries. The barge rental company has also been contacted, and as soon as we have confirmation on the fixture deliveries, we will lock in the barge. I am thinking mid-May. Could that be? Yeah, that could be a while. Because of COVID, it's been trouble locking in deliveries. So that's probably right. That was sent on Friday, April 23rd. I'm thinking mid-May, as I am sure everyone is aware, COVID has really made it challenging to lock in material deliveries. Let me know if you have any questions.
And we don't know then whether they were supposed to send a crew out and check to.
Now, hold on just a second.
an
That's old.
Yeah.
You know what? I have an old one. Wait a minute. These darn phones. Hey, hi, how about this one? Hi, Bob. We were actually on the site again last Tuesday and Wednesday with the lighting supplier. How's that sound?
Yeah.
And Gerstner Electric. We did a lot of troubleshooting, and we were able to resolve some of the issues. However, we still have 2 items remaining, which will probably require access back under the bridge via barge or snooper. The pier lighting on Pier 7 isn't communicating with the controller, and there is one light on the downstream side just south of Pier 6 that isn't communicating. We are monitoring the lights this week just to make sure none of the corrections we made last week revert back. Tim agrees it's an embarrassment. So. And we are still holding the contract with Alberici open until they can successfully complete the 15-day test period and the 1-year warranty. Feel free to give me a call. So, we haven't passed the 15-day test period yet. I guess that's the,
You bet we haven't.
that's the bottom line. All right,
Guarantee you that.
okay, so that's the name of that tune.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you for that. I
You're
didn't-
welcome.
I didn't get the email either.
I didn't either.
So,
The city's also working, we have a surveyor on board, working with getting the access property on the Washington side as you come across the bridge, where the laydown area was for the trailers and whatnot. So we're working with them on surveying that off, and from what I understand, MoDOT is, on board with, basically donating that or dedicating that to the city for whatever council chooses to do in the future, so.
good,
Correct.
agree. Very good. How much land you talking about there?
It's where the trailers were, so it's, I
It's
don't know.
about a lot, size of a lot,
Size of a lot, yeah,
Bill.
yeah.
It's, I don't remember, it's, like I said, it's probably
Corridor.
it's 6,000 to 10,000 square feet, maybe, I don't know, unless there's some remnant
yeah.
that goes all the way down the
Where
hill
that
that I'm
house
not aware
was.
of. Right,
Where that house was, so.
so,
Okay, very good.
I
Any
know
other-
our right-of-way have been talking with Tim about how to get this conveyed.
Good,
So-
okay, very good. Anything else?
big enough to hold a huge corncob pipe.
I'll be careful with you. Wish-
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting?
Don't put that in the paper.
Any other comments? Hearing none, we'll move on. Highway 47th Corridor Committee, have they met? John?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right, all right. Franklin County Transportation Committee? There he is, just Jim. Jim's got it here. Jim's here. Jim's here.
Good morning. Franklin County Transportation Committee met last Thursday. It was not a long meeting. We introduced 2 new members that had replaced members that had gone off the committee. One of the things that did take place, the minutes from the previous meeting were read and approved, which enables the county commission, since the minutes were approved, to act on funding of all of the requests that were made of the Transportation Committee. So the good news is that the minutes were approved. Now the commission is going to sign an order to approve funding all of those requests. Washington and a few other entities have requested funds, so those will be coming shortly. Other than that, there was very little business conducted.
Hey, Jim, can you explain, I saw, I think in the minutes somewhere, or I don't think I dreamt this, but there was something where Commissioner Brinker was talking about doing some reapportionment or something of the funds, or changing the bylaws with regards to that. Can you elaborate on that?
As you know, the Transportation Committee is designed to receive grant applications from the different entities, City of Washington, New Haven, Sullivan, and then fund those requests at a certain portion based on the appropriateness of those requests. Basically, the presiding commissioner brought up just for discussion the idea that instead of reviewing those applications and having, for instance, the City of Washington developing a formal request and then have that request reviewed and scored and potentially funded, to take the funds, which, for instance, this year was about $390,000, just take those funds and divide it up equally between all of the entities within the Washington, or the Franklin County area. And his thought maybe was base that on population or what have you. There was not much thought given. It was more an open conversation. This was not a proposal that he had brought up. It was just a thought process.
So that's something to be discussed again at at next month's meeting, I guess, or whenever you
Yes,
meet again?
Yes. We were going to talk about it a little bit further, see if we could develop a formula as to, for instance, the $400,000. If Washington has 32% of the population of the county, of the entities, not of the county in general, because much of the county is unincorporated, but if you take all the entities and divide that up population-wise between the special road districts and the cities within the county, see what that allocation would be. That would be, then they would be paid out on a yearly basis. People would not have to make a formal application and go through that process and jump through those hoops.
Well, just to, I mean, for food for thought, I think one of the ideas, rather than base it on population, since it's generated by sales tax, why not look at a way to go ahead and allocate it based upon sales tax from each entity?
The sales tax that would be generated in each entity?
Yes. You can figure it out by how much sales tax Washington, Union, any of those entities goes ahead and contributes to that, and then they could go ahead and get that portion back out.
You could do that, but how would Washington Special Road District fare on that? They have no tax base, so to say, no tax generating base. And maybe
I
Washington,
don't know that they necessarily need that.
aren't you basing it on the sales tax?
If you do it on sales tax, I'm saying that would go back to the cities, but I'm saying, to answer your question about the road districts, I don't know that they need access to those funds to begin with. They are adequately funded.
And that certainly could be a part of the discussion.
Right.
Historically, the Washington Special Road District has been one of the largest recipients of the funding of these dollars.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah, we know that one, too.
But it is an ongoing discussion.
I understand.
Jim, there could be a formula that's going to be used for the new taxes coming off of the gas tax, the 2.5 cents. That's going to be distributed to the county and to the individual cities. And I'm not sure how they do it, but the cities will all get an amount with a formula that's already set up at the state level. And this is for the gas taxes, the new gas taxes.
Yes.
Like the 15% is going to come to the cities and 15% to the county, as I understand.
And John and I haven't had a chance to figure out what
That's
that,
another
what that
formula to
difference
look
would be
at.
for us. That allocation would be.
Okay, John, you have something?
Yeah, no, and you and I talked about that late last week, actually, how we were, started looking into how these dollars are gonna be allocated. I've not seen anything, how that 2.5 cents is gonna come to us, but, it is on my agenda to have to get a better knowledge of it, so.
I think they're held up because they don't know how much how much tax is going to be refunded, how many people are going to file claims for the 2.5 cents. And I'm not sure how I've heard 10 to 20%. I don't know how that could possibly be. People aren't going to do that, except for the big guys, the guys who are really big gas utilizers are going to probably do the formula and try to get the 2.5 cents back.
And they
And that's what they're
probably
waiting
will.
on. They don't know the numbers yet.
Farmers, people like that.
Yeah, so, anyway.
Okay, if there's nothing else, that concludes report from Franklin County Transportation.
Very good, thank you very much.
I do have one question on it. The bypass and the roundabout and all, is there any news on that, or is that still on schedule?
They are in environmental review now. I believe the environmental review is virtually complete, so that will allow the next stage to happen, which would be plan review.
And Steve, were you hearing the same thing, or did you hear anything about it at all?
I mean, I'm not involved with the review, but that's what I've heard too. And we had our meeting and discussed it briefly on last Thursday.
Thursday.
Right. And that was what was said. John Zimmerman wasn't in that meeting, so we don't know exactly what's going on
But that's what I've heard
Right.
from the state.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Anything from Warren County? Joe?
I think our biggest concern is the lack of workers for MoDOT going into the winter time. We had a meeting last week, they're 20 to 25% short. So a bad winter, like we had, we could be in trouble for snowplow guys and et cetera, et cetera. So I think, I'll shoot you an email what we have and you can read that as well, but that's a big concern of ours.
Yeah, what about it?
Problem.
Steve, anything you can add to that?
No, we're, like you
same
say, we're very shorthanded. We're going into the winter. Gonna be a struggle. We just have lost a lot of people and people are leaving for higher paid jobs.
Jim?
Franklin County Highway Department's in the same situation.
Everybody is.
We're down about 12 to 15%.
Well,
I'll read this here a little bit.
yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Almost 20% of the snowplow operators have less than 1 year experience. Approximately 70 employees have left each of the past 6 months through MoDOT.
And these got to be CDL
Yeah, I mean, it's a
requirements and
challenge.
everything go along with the,
You know, so I mean, that's one of our major, I mean, last year we had several, the 2 or 3 snows we had, I mean, there was some roads that never got touched. You know, so I mean, then plus a lot of people don't know that letter roads are actually state roads and they think they're our roads. So, but I think that's a big problem we're gonna have, you know, if we do have a bad winter.
how do we prepare the public for this?
Actually, we're gonna put that out. I'm gonna be on the radio again next
say,
week. And we're gonna
Let's get it out
announce
there.
that,
Let's get it out there because
you know, because that is gonna be a problem.
it
you
is
know,
going to be a
so,
problem.
You know, I mean,
Be like a flood, if you can't get through, you may have to go ahead of time.
Well, so people understand that there are shortages and this,
I was actually with, Tim Hellish last week, several days, and we talked about this in great detail.
Steve, has MoDOT looked at contracting out for some of these services?
We have that option out there and people just aren't doing it. They're not very reliable when you do get them to do it. They
yeah.
Have
show
you,
up when they want to and they,
right. And not that the public entities don't have like he said, it's basically, but have you even thought about like other cities, like maybe contracting with them in and around their area? Just to go ahead and take care of the highways that are within their city limits or something? I'm not throwing
they
this
talk
out
about
there
everything.
because,
Yeah.
yeah,
we
but,
talked about moving parts of the state to where the snow's gonna be and
right,
there's a lot of things they're looking at, but
gotcha.
Well, this is a quote from them. We are several hundred employees below what we need in order to cover more than one shift in a statewide storm. If a widespread winter storm blasts more than one 12-hour shift, we will not have enough employees to fill the trucks for the second shift, and therefore it would take longer if the roads to be cleared.
and it's statewide, it's not just St.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing.
You know. But I think that's probably our main concern. I mean, other than that, I mean, we got some good news. They're gonna work on T next year and stuff like that, but snow's gonna be a problem,
Yeah.
or ice.
John, you have a comment?
Yeah, I just, it makes me feeling better. Washington, we were able to keep the vast majority of our employees, and with the going to contracted work on the trash routes, we have a couple extra CDL drivers that were dedicated to other departments that now we can pull from, should there be an issue, but I don't see any issue. We have salt in the bin. We just had a new salt contract
salt.
that came in really well. So in town, we should be ready to go.
Very good, John. Thanks for the info. Anything else, guys? Moving on. Special Road District. Special Road District.
I think last August, we had a discussion about South Point Road. John, I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit. Ed's not here from the Special Road District, but I don't know if you want to elaborate about our project that, how we were trying to tie in our construction with theirs.
Yeah. So I apologize. I was not at that meeting either, but Darren did fill me in on kind of what happened or what transpired. About 8 months ago, I found out from hearsay, I think that Special Road District was going to be paving some of South Point Road. So I reached out to Ed Ed Fisher, and I said, hey, if you guys are going to be paving a portion of it, let's pave through city limits as well. So there's a seamless project through the special road district into city limits, out into the special road district and city limits, meanders a lot on South Point Road, inside the city and then outside the city. Ed agreed. That's a good idea. Let's coordinate these things ahead of time. At the same time, the city was working on getting a water tower located on the south side of town. There's a water line, a dead-end water line, kind of at where Kurt's grading that lot up on South Point. There's a water line dead end there. There's also a water line dead end at the entrance of Stonecrest. So I thought it was a good opportunity maybe to get that water line constructed underneath the new pavement before the new pavement went down, to just loop everything, loop the water service out to Stonecrest and around town. It just makes sense. So I reached out to their design engineer, Wonder Lake Engineering, and talked to them about that. Wonder Lake indicated that the special road district scope of work was to add curb and gutter on the west side only of South Point Road. After talking with Darren a little bit, it would be nice if it was actually on both sides. So what we were thinking about doing was that the city would pay for the curb and gutter on the west side. So take their scope of work they were going to do. The reason why we would do that is we would put the water line just outside the pavement edge. And then since everything was tore up, the curb and gutter essentially becomes incidental to water line construction. And then the special road district could utilize that linear footage of curb and gutter and put it on the east side. So they're not spending any more money. They're just rededicating which side of the road they were going to do in the first place. That would then make South Point Road totally 100% curb and gutter, new asphalt, and then our new water line could go underneath. That's all the city was proposing to do with the road district. We also would then consider, and again, it's a conversation piece, but we would look at wanting to annex the right of way only. So in between basically the curb and gutter lines, the right of way only. And the only reason why we would do that is because I get numerous complaints of speed, traffic. There was a wreck on South Point Road the other day, all the way through there, and people don't know that area is not in city limits. So the police department cannot patrol it. It's not in our jurisdiction.
Hey, and John,
Annex, we could.
hey, John, I did ask Chief Menifee to be here, and he's here this morning too, so at some point, when you get done, he can go ahead and tell you what the request, the same thing that you've had with requests to people considering the speed limit out there and what we can and can't do, so, but go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't know he was. But that's the gist of the conversation. We would not look at annexing any properties. It's just the right of way to get this thing done. And to me, if we did that, then the special road district would actually have less road miles to maintain with the same tax base. To me, it makes sense all the way around. But that's the concept.
Very good, John. I think I see a lot of heads being nodded that seems like a no-brainer, but looks like a lot of thought has gone into it and cooperation with both entities.
Correct.
That's the good part about it, that everybody can work together to make this happen. Chief, did you have anything to add to what we're talking about here about safety and jurisdiction, whatever?
So again, as John said, we get a lot of complaints of speeding over several years now. We've done speed studies, we've done enforcement on the portions that we can. We've worked with the Sheriff's Department in having them do enforcement in the areas that are in the county. The speed studies, the median speed is not, say it's 30, it might be 36 or something. It's not really fast, but when you're a resident there, you see traffic going by, it seems like it's fast. But so we've issued some tickets out there. Accident-wise, in the city, we have maybe one or two. Outside the city, if it happens, the county's called. We may go to stabilize it until they get there, but we can't do any enforcement or take any action of that nature. We've had complaints about truck traffic, large truck traffic on the road. There's farms and that out that way, so that's going to happen. An improvement in the roadway would help with that truck traffic and vehicles on the road. So you have sections, and the residents can't understand that aren't in the city, sections that are. They think it's all in the city should take care of it. But we have to remind them, no, we can only go this far, and then we can go that far, and the rest is the county. So they get just a little frustrated about, what do they do? Who do they go to for enforcement?
And just so everybody knows, I apologize for not having an aerial up, but I mean, I think everybody here understands South Point Road. As you get up to the point of where Peter's Signs is located, that's where city maintenance ends. And then it goes on to, and then it's in the county until you get to the intersection of where Stonecrest, it's the first access for Stonecrest, going over to the subdivision, Highlands at Fairfield or whatever, which is right across the street. Then that intersection is in the city, and then you go back out into the county again. You're outside the city limits to the southern entrance of Stonecrest. And that intersection is not in the city limits, so you can see how you're going in and out of city limits as you go out there. So those homes that are on the west side of South Point Road, where they had proposed to put the curb and gutter, that section right there is outside city limits, and there's nothing that the chief and his officers can go ahead and do with regards to speeding, like he said. So that's what this would eliminate.
And
So
if,
even if the right-of-way would be annexed in, then we
We
could.
could patrol
use
it.
Our police, we could patrol that area.
you annex the right-of-way, that puts the roadway,
That puts the roadway in the
and we
city.
can enforce traffic laws on the road.
The city would maintain it.
Bless you.
And police would have jurisdiction.
And when you're talking those intersections from the subdivisions, improvements there would, and then being able to enforce there for stop sign violations and things of that nature. But any improvements you can make to South Point Road would help with safety. And if you're talking pedestrian traffic, most definitely.
Right.
John, anything else?
No?
Very good, very good. How do we proceed with this? How do we take it to the next level?
Well,
So currently, we're working with Wonderlick, the city and the road district are working together with Wonderlick to get basically a drawing, a scope of work drawing. I have that, it's probably 90%. I could definitely share that probably at the next meeting. I'm also gonna be working with the road district this month on getting probably a sit-down meeting with them, just so everyone understands what the scope is. I think what's happening is there's some misunderstandings and some things are getting misconstrued about what the term annex means, and what the city would be looking at. Again, if you're in the road district, you're getting a brand new road with curb and gutter on both sides, and then you never have to maintain it in the future with the same tax base. And we're not looking at getting any properties. So I just need to sit down with them and make sure that they understand that. And I think once we get over that hurdle, this will go fairly quickly.
and John, their construction for the street would be next spring, or for the road?
Yeah, that's what we're targeting. Yes, would be that. Now that's we're getting kind of a little later in the year yet, but that's what we would be targeting.
Okay. Just so everybody on the board understands when that construction would be. Okay.
Thanks, John. Any other comments regarding this? And is there anything we can help you with?
I think if let John and I go ahead and meet with the road district again, and then I think what we will do is we can provide you with a little bit more plans at the next month's meeting, and then hopefully then at that point maybe get a recommendation from this board.
Do you think by bringing the ideas forward to this meeting possibly, where the public would maybe want to join in and see it? Or whatever, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
Sure.
Just to,
I need to get really what I need to work on right now is just get some visuals, get this conceptual plan, I guess, ready to go for the public viewing, those type of things. Again, this makes sense all the way around. It's trying to work through some of the misunderstandings that and the fears that really don't exist.
very
How
good.
many property owners are along there?
There might be, On the area, we're talking
Talking on both,
maybe,
how many did you say, John?
10.
maybe 10,
I was going to say about 10, if you talk about both sides.
Okay,
both sides, yep.
all right. That's doable.
Anything else? Guys? Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thank you, Darren, for getting that far, getting it this far. It's fantastic. Very good. Okay, moving on now. Old Highway 100 Bridge. Did I miss anything? No.
No.
Old Highway 100 Bridge. Anything?
I mean, it's still scheduled for 2026 on
Yeah,
MoDOT's end.
I was reminded by, I forget, someone in conversation about that bridge and whatever, I was reminded that that is part of the rural fire district's responsibility or whatever for fire protection. The bridge itself.
If there was a fire on the bridge.
No,
it would
no,
be the-
well, I'm just saying that, yeah. The bridge? Yeah, because it's still MoDOT's, and is there a plan to change the ownership of that?
Well, right now, we own it, but once we get it rebuilt, we're gonna turn it over to the county.
You're gonna turn it to the county, so Jim's gonna own it, yes.
Yes, if I could address that just for a
Yes,
second.
please.
The Franklin County Highway Department has had conversation with Stephen and MoDOT regarding accelerating the reconstruction of that bridge. I am meeting with the engineer tomorrow to hopefully come up with a firmer price, and then we can prepare that and present it to MoDOT to see if the funding is there, or if we can come up with a resolution as to how we can do it and accelerate it. Right now, I believe it's 2025, 26.
26, he said.
26.
So if we can accelerate that a couple of years, that'd be a good thing.
That'd be good.
So
Correct.
we are actively pursuing that.
Very good, yes. By the way,
That-
the
that-
paving that was
paving
done
looks nice.
fantastic.
Thank you. They should be finished by the end of today with the paving. They had some paving on the east end they were just finishing up. And the pavement marking should all be in place before the end of this week.
How about the curb, or the easements on the,
The shoulders,
Yes.
those will be addressed by the county. We're doing that with our own forces.
all right, very good.
We did the main line with the contractor. We'll do the shoulders
Yeah, Pace
with
did that,
in-house.
correct, and that's a great.
I'm
job.
sorry?
Pace,
Pace was the contractor on that project.
yeah, it looks really good.
They did that, and Little Tavern Road and Thornton Road in Pacific. They did all four of those with St. John.
Very good.
Looks nice.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
It does, it really
Thank
does.
you.
Airport. John?
Airport, yeah, we're still waiting to send the bids out for the hangars. Like we've been saying, we were planning on late fall, early winter to do that. Again, the idea is hopefully the contractor community would be a little hungrier through wintertime. A lot of the project managers are the estimators, they're the same people. So the concern was with the summer hustle that it would drive some of the bids up. So we're still on target with that. As far as material prices go, we watch them pretty closely. Lumber's on its way down. There's not a lot of lumber in a job like that. It's more steel. Steel, from what I'm hearing, is somewhat stabilized. It's not necessarily gone down, but that's about the best I have as far as material on that goes. So we're gearing up, getting ready to send it out to bid, and keep our fingers crossed the bid's coming good, and we can build as many of these things as we can with the money we have.
Very good, John. Thank you. Team Track? Anything? Anybody? East-West Parkway? John?
Yeah,
anything?
East-West Parkway, yeah. So it's not really East-West Parkway, but it's the extension of High Street. The Senior Living Center, it's a 3-story Senior Living Center, is probably 60%, 70% constructed. The roadway is scheduled to get paved in the upcoming weeks to get across the first culvert, or the first weather crossing there. So it'll be dead end to the next, to the next portion of that property. There is one additional culvert or bridge that'll have to go in just to the south. And city is working with the developer to see if there's any mutual benefit to maybe keep this thing kind of moving and to get additional access, to the subdivision, to the Autumn Leaf subdivision, and then even to the farm to the south. So we're actively in conversation, identifying monies available to see if there is any mutual benefit to get this thing extended. But it's going well. So.
Very good. Thank you, John. Any comments? Anybody? Hearing none? Move on. Public transportation. We had a person who was going to show up last meeting, and we'll try to get
She was
her.
going to be able to make it today.
She was not able to make it. What's her name again?
I don't know, I have it in my office.
Okay. Yeah, we want to try to get her to come to this meeting, just to give us an update on what's happening with public transportation. I understand with United Way, that's one of the things of needs that is in the community that hopefully somehow can be met or improved on, let's put it like that. So, yeah, anyway. Any other business?
Yeah, real
Yeah,
quick.
John.
So at the next meeting, I'll have a presentation for you, but the city's looking at doing some improvements to the downtown area in the next coming years. If you're aware that we were able to get an East-West Gateway grant or a STP grant to redo Front Street from Jefferson to Stafford, curb and gutter, sidewalks, paver intersections, ADA improvements. That's a 2025 project. About $1 million is what we're anticipating, 80-20 money there. But if you notice, the Elm Street, Main Street intersections, 2nd Street, the pavers are in disrepair. They were put in the 80s. So we're looking, and we don't have any grant funding for those projects, so those have to be funded 100% by the city. So we are targeting to get the corridor from Jefferson to Cedar on 2nd Street, get that under design this winter, and then out to bid maybe late next year, and then start construction the first part of 2023 to get the 2nd Street redone. That would be the intersections, sidewalks, curb and gutter. The reason why we want to start there is because we can then do phasing on that project to make sure that what we did worked. That way, when we jump to Main Street, which is the one that concerns me the most disruption with businesses, that we've already had that experience, I guess, under our belt to make sure we know what did work or what didn't work when we go to the higher risk area, which would be Main Street. So it's kind of a 3-year plan, 2023 on Main, 2023 on 2nd, 2024 on Main, and then 2025 on Front. But what you'd see would be new concrete, new sidewalks, new curb and gutter, new pavement, and new intersections. So it's a pretty ambitious plan, and I will have a flyer, I guess would be the best way to say it. And I could share that at the next meeting and then go into more details. But it would have a similar look to Jefferson Street, no bump outs, but a similar paver style look. So that gives some consistency across the downtown area.
Very good, John. Sounds good.
Very good.
Progress.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing that it's been that long since those pavers, I can almost remember when those pavers went in.
They've done well, actually.
They have, they
Very well.
really have.
Did he say no bump outs?
No bump outs, no bump outs.
No
Excellent.
bump outs.
No bump outs.
Chief is cheering.
Yell from the mountains. No bump outs.
All right. John, anything else you want to add to the meeting?
High Street's finished up. We're rolling into 3rd Street next year, and they're actively doing some work on Fair Street and around the International Shoe Factory yet late fall. So just trying to complete some things.
Good. John, do you have any plans for the additional monies from the sales tax, gas tax? As have you guys talked about what that could be used for, possibly?
Well, a lot of the things we talked about today, honestly.
We got a long list of projects.
Got a long list of projects. Good, that's
Yeah,
good.
we're also working with MoDOT on a couple other projects. They have a Highway 100 improvement project in the near future. And I don't have the scope of that yet, but we're trying to see if adding westbound turn lanes from International Drive and from East 5th, So it would be a turn lane added to make a right onto westbound 100 to see if that would have some improvements to those intersections. Stuff, I mean, those are just things that we're looking at doing. I mean, it's kind of common sense, I think, additions when you're doing 100. Let's do some other improvements as well. So there's a bunch of things we're looking at. Obviously, rabbit trail and 100 is always, always something that we're trying to solve. But those would be the major ones.
Very good, John. Thank you very much for all your work. Thank you. To jump back into the monies from sales tax, our half-cent transportation sales tax for the year is up 7.32%, which is fantastic. And actually the next month, this past month, this one was up, it's for the current month, it's up 17% to start with, starting off the year. So that's a very positive, that's an indicator of sales because it's all generated basically from the half cent
Right.
on the sales within the city limits. So that's very positive. So anything else? Can't think of anything else. Steve, anything from MoDOT that you want to pass on?
Nothing new.
I did read it, that the fatalities are up again for the year.
I mean, they keep going up every year.
Keep going up every year, but there's seems like they made a jump.
I mean, some of it's motorcycles,
Yes,
people not wearing helmets,
right,
and that's going to increase your numbers.
yeah. Yeah, it is, it's a state law.
Legal now to ride without.
Greg, you got anything?
I get,
Hey, I know I came in late,
No, good.
and this question maybe already came up. Have we started on the study on Highway 100? Did we talk about that before I got here?
We didn't talk about it, but we've been studying it since this summer. And we went out in September and, our consultant spent probably 10 hours with about 4 or 5 of their people looking at different intersections throughout the day. And
All right, are we still on target to get results from that in January? I think that's what I
That's the
heard.
plan.
That's the plan, okay, good. All right.
The school
That's all.
district, do you guys have any comments about what's going on with the new school and the traffic and whatever? Probably a good time to keep us
The
informed.
first couple of days was a little chaotic. A lot of parents transporting, not using buses as much, but it's smoothed out. They've got a good system down now as far as the parking lot and the school property. I mean, obviously, the intersection of St. John's Road and 100 remains a concern. So any improvements that could be made there, the school district's obviously 100% on board.
Well, someone was out and was it your people, Steve, that sat there for a day or two?
that was our consultant.
That was your consultant, that's,
We did have a MoDOT traffic engineer floating around that
yeah,
day,
and it was
too.
good to see that they were actually there during the hours when they needed to be there. I mean,
Yeah,
when-
they
when-
specifically looked at that intersection at the morning drop-off and the afternoon pickup.
Any comments about it that you can recall?
They said it was, like he said, a little chaotic, and that was in early September, so it was still early. But
Well,
they said it's working, it just could be better.
yeah, and quite honestly, I guess I didn't want to cry wolf, but I just saw potential problems there, and I was trying to get ahead of it. At least I've spurred some interest in looking
yeah,
at
it
it.
needs to be
and
studied.
It needs to be studied, and it needs to be, we can't put it on the back burner. I mean, it's
And
gonna.
MoDOT has committed to
I
that
know
being
you
the
have.
first
I
intersection
know you
that
have, and
gets
so is the school
improved.
district, so is the school district.
We're on the right path.
Everybody's on the right path. It's just now a question of let's keep it as safe as we can. And traffic is increasing. Obviously, everybody sees it in town. I mean, it's during the traffic in town, many times it's just backed up all over the place. And there's nothing you really can do it. It's just amount of traffic. I see it on Highway 47 going south, I live towards the south. And it's in general, traffic is really increasing, it appears, around here. This is my perception, so I don't know what anybody else sees it.
Seems like
So,
it.
But we might make some striping changes now that we know some of numbers. So
Yes.
if the shoulders are stout enough to hold right turn, left turn traffic, we might do some striping changes.
right, and I think the old bridge, put that on a fast track to get that done because of the weight limits and whatever, like even the fire trucks can't come across there. So you got safety issues when you think about it. If the fire trucks have to go all the way around to get to, that's bad. That's-
I think we're open to agreements locally
I know,
to
I know.
fund it up front with a reimbursement at a later date if MoDOT is willing to go ahead and do that.
Very good, very good. So anyway,
All right.
I don't have anything else. I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if nobody else has anything.
So moved.
Have a motion to adjourn? Have a second? Second. Have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yep.